Hello and welcome back to Fake Gamer Bro. This is another edition of Games of the Week, and just like last time, we are talking about a single game because we just don't have enough to say for a full episode, but we wanted to talk about it anyway. Shout out to one of my members, someone in my Discord who recommended Dandara. I'm so sorry. I didn't play it more than I did. Also, Cam's here. Hi, Cam. I'm sorry. I got straight to it. I didn't introduce you. Say hi.
Hello, I'm not important.
Yeah, you're only my co-host, and we just talked about Farm RPG for forever, and you've just been on a lot of episodes or anything. Yeah, so what Dandara is it's a Metroidvania, or as the cool kids are saying, also the Japanese kids are saying, search action games.
Yes.
It's on everything. I was going to see if it's like, oh, is this on like iOS and Android? It's on Steam, it's on the Switch, it's on your PlayStation. This is everywhere. I don't know which came first, but if you want to play this, it's out there to be played. It's about $4 on iOS. I'm not sure anywhere else because it's part of the Google Play. Google Play, sponsor me, please. Google Play Pass, sponsor me. It's free there. So I think we actually both got about as far, but I think you like search action games a little bit more. So why don't you tell me your experience with this game?
Yeah, so by a little bit more, it's more like I played Hollow Knight and loved it, and that's about the extent.
I mean, that's a pretty hardcore search action game from what I'm aware of.
It is. That's true. I need to not ramble about Hollow Knight because we don't have a lot of time, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. As a beginner gamer that doesn't game a lot, it was pretty good.
As a fake gamer, you might say.
Yeah, as a fake gamer, exactly. So Dandara was interesting right off the bat because it's a big element of a lot of Metroidvanias, to my knowledge, is the movement. Like movement and like combat flow and things like that are like a huge element of it. You really got to get that down. And then the other element is the exploration, of course. And Dandara is interesting because it's more of controlling a puzzle piece rather than a character, because it's not that the movement isn't smooth or easy to pick up per se, but it doesn't really have a flow to it, at least not to the point that I played. Maybe as you pick up more powers and upgrade more, it gets different. But starting off, the movement system is like one of those games where one of those there's like 100 different versions of it under 100 different names where you like shoot a ball into other balls and you have to like, there's a line, you have to aim it and use that line to judge your angle and then it like bounces off or whatever. That's kind of like what controlling this character is, except she like sticks to particular surfaces. So you can get a good movement going and there's definitely timing to the things that you do. But that element alone makes it a lot different from most other Metroidvanias that I've seen. And then as far as the exploration part, I'd say that's about the same. There's definitely a lot of different routes you can go down, a lot of different hidden things you can find. So exploration's definitely rewarded in the same way. But yeah, that's about my opinion on it.
Yeah, I think that the interesting movement is what really made me want to do an episode on this, besides just, looking at something that someone in the Discord recommended. And I do think that it should get more attention because I haven't heard anyone talk about it, because it is real interesting movement and it's not that hard to pick up on. Mm-hmm. I think what gets me is I'm just not good at search action games. I don't like the genre enough to try to get through it. I'm very bad with timing, and there's a lot of timing in this of, I'm bad with platformers too. I'm not really great for those. And, but there is a lot to explore. It's got this story going on in the background that I didn't get far enough to really start unlocking. Yeah. It's got the combat mechanic that I think is pretty fluid too, because you point with the touch screen. It would be like a joystick on a console to go to the different surfaces, and with the other joystick or the other part of the screen, you point the weapon and shoot. And again, it might get more complicated as it goes on, but it's pretty basic from the get-go, and it's a lot of jumping out of the way because there's no you can't run forward. You always have to jump from surface to surface. Which I just don't think it's challenging. I think it's just interesting. I think it's just more fun than
It is
normal.
definitely interesting. Yeah. But yeah, it wasn't what I was expecting for sure. And the lack of challenge inherent to the movement and having it more be about just figuring out when to move and where you want to go. It's just if you're more of a traditional Metroidvania enjoyer, you might not be super into that, but it's still fun and it is still interesting. And and a lot of people clearly enjoyed it. I mean, this game has a ton of reviews already. Or maybe not a ton, a few thousand. I don't know if you consider that a ton, but it seems like people are enjoying it for what it is, for sure.
Yeah, yeah. And like, again, I'm bad with platformers, so not having to like worry about overshooting a jump is nice because I can see exactly where I'm going to go. I just have to get more quick on the draw for like missing spikes or moving out of enemy blasts and stuff like that. They also have a couple of different modes. They have a mode that has more flags, so you can have more checkpoints to jump back to. They also have a cheat mode that I didn't look into because it's like, they're like, this is not how the game is supposed to be played, but I guess you just want to explore it without actually worrying about the mechanics of the game. That's an option, but I didn't look into exactly what those did. But the point is they do have options to try to make it better if you do want to play it and you aren't that good at it.
Yeah, no, for sure. And there's nothing wrong with not being good at a particular type of game either, you know. I don't think you're necessarily depriving yourself of a real experience or anything like that if you choose to play that way. It's still the same game, and if it's an option that the developer provides for you, then I would call that an intended way to play, like an option. So definitely valid to do that, but I did not do that either myself. I wanted to give it the old college try before doing anything like that.
Yeah, I might try it again and put the flags on because I did get kind of frustrated with how far back I went. But it's not a huge deal. I mean, you unlock a map pretty quickly when you get to like the second main area, which definitely helps things a lot. But yeah, again, this just isn't my genre of game, so I have a hard time recommending it or saying like just because I don't like it doesn't mean it's a bad example of its genre. It means I'm just not huge into this particular genre. Also, it's landscape, but the fact that it's on Steam and the Switch, maybe I'll put it on my wish list and grab it if it's pretty cheap. Because I think I would just like joysticks a lot better than the touchscreen. But the touchscreen was fine. Yeah.
It was fine. It was a little weird, but it was fine.
Yeah. Like you didn't have to do it in any particular spot. It was just wherever you are on the left or the right side, you're able to do it. So, I think it's fun. I like the art style. I think I like the setup for the story. Again, we didn't get a whole lot of it, but it's got that mystique. It's got the interest to see what's going on.
And I definitely got that traditional Metroidvania thing where I would explore into areas and realize that I couldn't access them yet, and I'll probably get some kind of power later to be able to go back and open those things up. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that's just another thing I'm not a huge fan of the genre because I'm just forgets a lot. I want to be able to. I don't want to have to like go back to other areas to get stuff for the most part. There's some exceptions to that, but in general, that's just not a huge part of things I like. But I also get lost a lot on maps. I had problems with playing the first Halo game because I had no fucking idea where to go.
No, that's absolutely fair. And to be honest with you, I did play and love Hollow Knight, but the wiki was my friend.
Yeah.
And I often found myself pulling up the map of like the entire game to figure out what the hell was going on and where I needed to go next, for sure.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, it's hard to say because we didn't get too far. We both went to the artist area first, but there was another section we could have gone to first as well. But I think it's fun. I think if you like the search action or Metroidvania genre, you should give this a try. Like I said, it's free on Google Play. It is on basically every console you could want it on. And that is our time. We haven't made it to 10 minutes in these episodes so far, so we'll see how long the streak can keep going. We will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.